Hello, everybody. This is Nick Totaro, Professor of Information Technologies and Computer Science, Lakeland Community College. All right, we've done the first two phases. We've organized the data, we analyze the data. Now it's time to create our report. I'm going to go up to my screen in a second and show you the template that I want you to use. I'm also going to show you the report that I created. Now, I don't want to see carbon copies of my report, so I'm not going to show you a whole bunch of my report, just individual pages that are going to be associated with it. So let's go up to my screen. And the first thing you see is the front page. Nothing fancy. Put your name and your email address so I know who you are. Then we get this particular information you already have. Oh, that was a table of contents. This particular information we already have. Now, let's go to the table of content. The table of content is going to be very important to whoever is reading your report. So it is in your best interest to maintain a very good table of content. Use the Microsoft Word table of content version. Use headers, headings, and stuff like that. And I'll do some quick demonstrations that are associated with it. Now, in this particular Word document, I don't have any data in it, but I've broken things up. Now, first of all, let's talk about the forensics. It's going to be into three sections. The forensics examination of the image files, forensics examination of the PDF files, and the forensics examination of the Microsoft Word files. All the other stuff for this particular report, I'm not that interested in, but those three, images, PDFs, and Word, is the majority or all of our particular document. Let's first talk about what an executive summary is. It is not a conclusion. You do not give your opinion in this report. This report you are just basing on cold, hard facts. So when you write your executive summaries, I don't want to see opinions in there. And sometimes we slip opinions in there without even realizing it. Words like unfortunately. Well, that's an opinion. That's giving you opinion. So think in cold, hard facts. Don't extrapolate based upon what you may already know. You'll see images in there that look like Lakeland's bell tower, clock tower, but you're not 100% sure on that. You might see a name in there that says Lakeland, but it doesn't say Lakeland Community College. So be very careful on your executive summaries. Now, there's going to be two types of executive summaries. Each individual file will have its own unique executive summary. Then you have an executive summary for all the files in that particular group. I don't want you copying and pasting the individual executive summaries from each file and putting it as your main executive summary. View it like this. Each file is a unique element. It's a unique piece in the puzzle. If you gather enough pieces, then you can make a section of the puzzle. So in each file, you're going to have a unique executive summary for that file, but then eventually you're going to take all those executive summary and you're going to put them together, not copy and paste, but put them together and treat them as a whole. Let me show you the example that I have on my report. All right. I'm using this particular name, Frederick O. Rensix, as a potential student. And you can see that I basically have three sections: the forensics examination of, forensics examination of the image files, forensics examination of PDF files, and the forensics examination of the Microsoft Word files. You can see then they are grouped. Each section has its own executive summary. Each file has its own page associated with it. So if I skip over, we'll come back to the images executive summary. Here is an individual image, right? Summary, it was a hidden file. There's an individual in there. You notice I don't say, and this is not about gender identity, I don't say it appears to be a female or it appears to be a male. I just give the information that I can tell. There's an individual in the photo wearing X, carrying a backpack, right? I can see what looks like some kind of tower over here. I can see the word Lakeland here, and I put that in there. I don't extrapolate. I don't say I see the words Lakeland Community College because I don't see the words Lakeland Community College here, right? So I create this executive summary for this individual file. Then here's that information from phase 2. And then I go to the next file. Same thing. Now, these files may be identical. You still put each file has its own unique executive summary. At a certain point, once you get through all the images and you do that should have been in phase 2, then yes, you go back to the executive summary for all the images. Treat them as a section of your puzzle. So each file is a piece of the puzzle, but then eventually you put those pieces together and treat them as a section. Do not give opinions, right? That sometimes that is very difficult. We don't realize that we're giving opinions when we say words. The one I always think of is unfortunately. What do you mean by unfortunately? That is definitely an opinion. Don't assume. You saw the image. Can't tell if it's a male or female, right? It may look, it happens to be my wife, it may look like a female, but you just have to say an individual. It's not about gender identity, it's about the content that were there. When we look at PDF files, there is going to be, let me scroll on down. Sorry. Generally speaking, in this particular document, there's 2 types of PDF files. A PDF file that is generated by somebody else, that's a brochure, a handout, that really doesn't have any relevance to this particular case. There's no additional information to it. So things like how to use a Tor browser, how to the user manual for a given camera, we don't really care, right? So we basically put a quick little quote in there saying, here's the files. There's no additional information recovered. If you want those files, we can easily get those to you. But then there may be a PDF file that does have pertinent information into it, and we happen to have one here. Pertinent information is a PDF file that was generated by the individual that may have that individual's name in there or email address. So what you want to do is for the PDF files and the Word documents and stuff like that, look to see if there's names or email addresses or phone numbers or something that can identify those particular individuals. When we're dealing with Word documents, now Word documents are a little bit different than PDF because most of the time Word documents are going to be generated by an individual, right? And probably the individual that owns that piece of equipment, that USB drive. So those you might need to dive into a little bit deeper than your PDF file. Your executive summary, again, you don't draw conclusions. I keep on using the word summary, not conclusion. It's not your business to come up with a conclusion. So you can look at the user's name, if there's a name in there, if there's multiple names in there, if there's email addresses in there, there's phone numbers in there, those you have to document. Those you have to, because the investigator may take this report and bring it to court and say, we found these names in this document. This means this particular device belongs to this individual. You don't make that decision. You do not make the decision that, oh, I believe this belongs to the individual. No, you just say, we found these names in these files. Don't interpret anything. For example, you probably saw that there's a couple letters in there or drafts of letters that if you read them, they're letters about they're drafts about a secret admirer, right? You may interpret them as romantic or you may interpret those as creepy. It's not your place. It's just not our place as forensics and analyzers to say, ooh, that was a very romantic letter versus, oh, that was a very creepy letter. All we can say is we discovered letters that appear to be secret admirer letters. Same thing with the automobile sale. Why is he selling? We don't know why he's selling his car. It's not our business. Letters of resignation. Why is he quitting? We don't care. We just look at the content in black and white and say, we found this particular material. Let me go back. The table of content needs to be updated with the proper page. I strongly recommend, it doesn't take that long, to use the Microsoft Word table of content function. Seriously, it may take you 5, 10, 15 minutes to really learn. It involves using headings, heading 1, heading 2. I've already created this, and you'll see it in that doc, which means that every the title of every page is going to have to be a heading 1 or a heading 2, and you'll work that out. It's really not that challenging. So think about what we've done. Think about what we have done. We have basically collected a whole bunch of information. We analyzed it without providing any kind of opinion. The analyst was, okay, we had GPS signals. I strongly encourage you to use GPS mappings. What do we say about image is worth 1,000 words? A picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you can provide an image of where those GPS items were, that is fantastic, all right? I encourage you to expand what you believe would be important information, as long as you don't cross the boundaries of I'm giving my opinion, right? I believe this is the victim. You don't know that, right? I believe this individual was not aware of the picture being taken. You don't know that, right? So you just have to look at things without an opinion. More information you give, the better, but you don't want to overwhelm the investigator and give them minutia where they're going to have to weed through. You want the investigator to get as much information out of the executive summaries as they need. If they need more information, they will ask for more information. All right? So I hope you enjoyed this project. It was really a fun project to put together. Okay. With that being said, let's go and learn something.